because I know everybody in this room, but this is a big moment for me and my family. You know, if you told me 20 years ago that on April 24th, 2015, I'd be doing an in-store at Easy Street Records, I could probably learn to play guitar a little better. But anyway, here I am, sharing the same stage as, you know, Brandy Carlisle, Mudhoney, Pearl Jam. So I'm in good company up here. So is somebody recording this? Because I'll talk to Matt later about putting out the Dave Montoure live at Easy Street Records. I promise you it'll be very affordable. This is a great room of people. I mean, just looking around, I see so many friends and family. I see some friends I haven't seen for many years, and it's good to all get together, and hopefully it's for a great cause. A couple folks that I want to thank before we get into the stump speech. My dad's here. Dad, where are you? Yeah. Dave Senior. If you haven't met Dave Senior, you got to do it. But you got to get away from Tim Tack because he seems to be occupying his time over there. My sisters are here. Carrie Shelley. My niece Sarah. Of course.
Also sexy.
Also, okay, there we go. Thank you. And of course, my lovely wife Emmy. And I don't see him in the room today, but I wouldn't be here without, you know, the friendship and the business acumen of my business partner, Dean Overton. Yeah. Dean Overton and I, we met probably 30 years ago. He was a pizza cook, and I was a pizza delivery guy down at Bison Creek Pizza over here in West Seattle. And we kept in touch throughout the years, and 13 years ago we started our little business venture, and we've been, you know, hetero life partners ever since. In my 47 years on this planet, you know, West Seattle has always been my home. You know, I've lived in other places. I've lived overseas, Japan, Taiwan, Hong Kong. I've lived in California, Chicago, but this was always home for me. In fact, I bought my first single-family home with my sister here when I was living in Chicago. I bought it sight unseen. I was looking to make an investment. Where do I invest? West Seattle is home. So during those years, particularly in the last 13 years, running West 5, getting active in the community, I met a lot of great civic leaders. I've met a lot of folks in the political spectrum, a lot of great folks down at City Hall. And it's that reason why I'm here today running for City Council, because I want to take some of those lessons learned from those folks and bring part of West Seattle down to City Hall. So, on to the stump. Okay, let me know how this works out because I need feedback. It's my first time through it. So, as your City Councilman for District 1, I'm going to make several pledges. I want to attract middle-class jobs to the peninsula by reinvigorating some of our industrial and manufacturing sectors. I want to brand the peninsula as a leader in sustainable business practices. I want to tackle our persistent traffic and transportation issues. I think we all know that's a headache. And I'm calling this one it a different shade of blue. I want to bring a different shade of blue to our community, and you'll get that in just a second. But first we're going to talk about middle-class jobs. I'm going to bring a 24/7 medical facility to West Seattle. I've been working on this for a while. These are good jobs that we need in our community, but more importantly, we need the service. Our seniors need the service, our children need the service, we need the service. We can't be driving over the bridge when we have an emergency in the middle of the night or down the Highline. Also on middle-class jobs, I'm going to work to reinvigorate underutilized properties down in our industrial and manufacturing areas. I think that land can become a hotbed for artists, for light manufacturing, and green industry. New middle-class jobs in our backyard and over the bridge in Soto. So actually I was just at the Manufacturers Industrial Council a few minutes ago and announced myself, so this is actually my second speech I lied. But I introduced myself as a candidate down there, and I think it was pretty well received by that audience. In terms of branding our peninsula as a leader in sustainable business practices, you can hang on to that if you want. I'll sign it later. As your city council member, I'm going to continue my track record of, you know, employing and deploying sustainable business practices. I don't know if you know this, but in 2008, we initiated a program here in the Junction. 30 food service industries participated, and we took food compost out of the solid waste stream. And we did this not through any mandate. We didn't say you're going to get penalized if you don't do it. We simply made a business case. This is a good green business practice, and it saves you money. If you can take your food compost, put it into a 96-gallon container, and shrink down the size of your dumpster, you're going to save money at the end of the day. So that was a very successful program that we launched here in 2008, and I have my eye on some very interesting technologies in that spectrum as well, which I'll announce when we're ready. I see West Seattle becoming an incubator of green innovation, not just a leader, but a front runner. Now, tackling traffic, this is the big one that's on everybody's mind, right? As your council member, I'm going to tackle these issues that seem so insurmountable and apply common sense solutions. We don't have to shrug our shoulders when it comes to traffic congestions. Why is there no city game plan when it comes to traffic management and transit management in West Seattle? And why, most importantly, are public investments in our infrastructure not keeping pace with private investments in our communities? We have tons of development going on here. It's all privately invested. Okay, our streets aren't being maintained. We're not getting the public investments keeping pace with private investment. Years ago, I was on a committee that developed a plan to improve the Fauntleroy neighborhood called the Triangle. And part of that plan was the improvement of Fauntleroy Avenue as you come into West Seattle. During that first meeting, there was a friend of mine from the city of Seattle who was in attendance. He was kind of facilitating the meeting. He had to leave because his wife was in labor and having their first son. He's 9 years old today, and I'm still driving on that same street. Why does it take so long to get improvement projects done in West Seattle? I'm going to change that. Okay. So this last part I call bringing a new shade of blue to our community, and simply put, that's bringing and implementing community-based policing. I think it's on the Chief of Police agenda, but I think we really need to step it up. Again, as president of the Junction Association, during the economic downturn, we saw a pretty big spike in some disorder in property crime. So we went down to the Southwest Precinct and talked to the commander down there and said, can we have some resources, some foot patrols? And they gave us 2 gentlemen that within 1 week on site, doing the beat in the junction at different times of day, the disorder in the junction, the drunkenness, it just plummeted. The property crime stopped almost completely. Community policing works. So it was that person in the blue collar. They gave us 2 police officers, not full-time obviously, but you'll know their names, Tom Burns and Bob Besaw. Yeah, they got to know the community. We remember this was years ago. And you old-timers are going to recognize the Besaw family name from West Seattle, Besaw Carpets. So that person in the blue uniform has a name, right? They know their community, they know their businesses, they know the kids in the community, they know the parents and grandparents. So I pledge to bring back community policing as your city council member. And we'll kind of wrap it up here in just a second. So tackling traffic. Can I do this? Never repeat yourself. So again, in summary, I pledge action and not rhetoric. And I put at minimum the following actions as your city council member. I want to attract and retain good neighborhood jobs, continue my leadership in sustainability and sustainable business practices. I'll be a superhero against traffic and transit congestion. I'll bring back that shade of blue and bring back community policing to our neighborhood. And of course, it goes without saying, I'm going to be a strong, if not the strongest champion for small business, which is the backbone of our local economy.